That's bluegrass sensation Billy Strings putting the pedal to the metal as he heads down under for his first ever shows in Australia and New Zealand this coming July. We found Billy in Michigan and asked him what fans can expect when he finally makes it to New Zealand.
You know, I'm just living day to day. You know, I choose the set list kind of day to day. Although I was saying I'll probably have quite a bit of time to think about what to play on the flight over there.
Yeah, you
So,
will. There's a lot of
um,
time.
but yeah, I'm not sure how much stuff we can fit on the tugboat that we're taking across the place there. You know, it's not much room, and there's a lot of batteries we need to get us across the ocean there. So,
That's right. Yeah, it is a ways.
um, yeah, and it's a real slow boat. So,
Very good.
um,
Yeah, because I see you mentioned in your set list, you do all sorts of stuff. I think you just played at the Ryman where it was pretty much all covers. And of course, you got this new album that came out, which is all originals. And then I see some of the covers you pick are pretty interesting. Everybody from Pat Boone to Pink Floyd and anything in between. So, how do you come up with this stuff?
we've even covered Daniel Boone.
Oh, there you go. Was that Beautiful Sunday?
um, well, yeah, there's a deep well of songs, you know, in folk music and bluegrass, and I mean, there's no rules. To me, it's just like depending on where we're at or what we're doing. Maybe I'll, you know, if we're in New Orleans, there's plenty of songs about New Orleans. I might play one of those.
Yep,
There's always good train songs if you
that's
know
a fact.
if you like trains, you know. But yeah, it just depends on what's going on and how I'm feeling that day as far as what goes on the set list and um, who knows? I mean, we're going to New Zealand. Maybe we'll just play like Lord of the Rings music the whole time.
There you go. That would be fantastic. Or Crowded House, perhaps. Split Ends. Those guys. There's a lot of good music down here. Do you know much about the music scene in New Zealand?
I do not.
All right. Well, that's something for you to look into because I think you'll be pleasantly
Absolutely.
surprised. Yeah. Yeah. All
Yeah, I
right.
would love to. I would love to check out some of the local artists and just the local people. You know, like that's what I love about traveling and playing music is getting to go and check out people's different cultures and the different foods and the different you know, you go down south and you know there's some they eat seafood on the beach down there and you go up north and they hunt deer and eat venison, you know, and
Yeah.
um I'm not sure what they do in New Zealand, but I want to figure it out, you know.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll have time. Some artists are in and out within hours, and some take their a couple of weeks, to drive around. There's a lot of driving space, a lot of open space, and beaches for miles where nobody's on and stuff like. Do you do any surfing? Probably not if you're up in Michigan, but
Uh no, only a few times. It sure is fun. It's awful hard.
yeah, that's what I
In
figured.
in Hawaii, I did okay. You know,
All
there's
right.
a good waves out there.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, that's true. And I wanted to ask you about a song you do, Catch and Release, which since I'm an old dude, it reminded me of Arlo Guthrie and Alice's Restaurant. Was it kind of an inspiration there for you?
Well, I woke up this morning about 4:15, grabbed my cap and bag and slipped out the door, hooked up my tracker to the U-Haul hitch, went and picked up Vince and we headed out to Pete the Sitch. Figured we'd try to get into some smallies in the Clearwater. Praying there wasn't nothing to get snagged up on. So we're cruising somewhere near Livingston, had some herb in my bowl and I lit it again. I was jabbered at the jaw and crimson in the eye. On the way to Dale Hollow I was floating like a butterfly. Then I got stung by a bee.
There's a lot of different great talking blues songs. You know, there's like Bob Dylan's Motorcycle Nightmare and um, Mean Talking Blues and of course like Woody Guthrie. Stuff like that. A lot of great
Uh-huh.
tunes. Towns Van Zant had a great one called Fraternity Blues. He had a couple different ones. There's another good one about drinking Thunderbird. You know, um, but yeah, the talking blues kind of song form, I wanted to try my hand at that.
Right.
And well, I didn't really know that I wanted to until I got pulled over, and I said, "Well, we got to make this into a song." And what better way to just tell a story than to just tell a story over a song?
Yeah, it's a
And
fact. Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I did. I made it the old catch and release, talking blues.
Very cool. Very cool. And you mentioned Dylan. Did you see the film about him, A Complete Unknown?
Yeah, I watched it 2 days ago.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I think the guy who played him, Timothy Chalamet, I think he did a really good job. It was about a few minutes into the movie, and I started believing that this was Bob Dylan. You
Right. Well,
know,
that's all right.
it was great. I mean, yeah, but um, who knows? Yeah, it was great, and I just love anything Bob Dylan. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm a fan. I liked the film. Yeah, what a great job he did singing all them songs and stuff, man.
And
Incredible.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody in the film was pretty cool. I love the scene where Bob comes to see Woody Guthrie in New Jersey bed hospital room and plays him the song for Woody Guthrie. Very very moving, I
Yeah.
thought.
I like Johnny Cash trying to park his car, man.
There you go. Yeah, that was a good bit too. Yes. Now, and of course, bluegrass seems to be making all sorts of inroads these days. I just heard the new album that's coming out by Alison Krauss and Union Station. It's their first one in like a decade or something. So things are happening. What do you think? Is there something changing in the perception and the acceptance of music? It used to be just for kind of hillbillies and old folks.
I sure hope so. Yeah, I mean, people are catching on that this is really good music and it's real music, and you can play it at a party or on your back porch or around the campfire or with your grandma or you know, it's it's in the heart and soul of America at least, and it's one of the truly beautiful and good things to ever come from America. It's a truly American art form, like baseball or something, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm like I said, I feel honored to like wave the flag for bluegrass and to keep teaching the younger folks that are coming up about Doc Watson and Bill Monroe and Ralph
Right.
Stanley and to keep singing these songs that these guys wrote and played and even some of the songs that are older than that are from the 1800s that are still making their way through these hills.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And do you change your set? Do you consider your set list when you're playing outside of the U.S.? Like, for instance, down here in Australia and New Zealand, they have a different kind of perspective on this stuff than, say, somebody from Alabama or Minnesota.
Yeah, like I said, it just depends on really what's going on that day or how the weather is or how our travel was or whatever. I mean, it might
Okay.
inspire um if our travel was rough getting there or something, or it was a long day, I might say, man, it's been a long, lonesome, it's a lonesome road to travel. Sing some songs like that, or if um, if I could, if I get to missing my family back home, I might be singing songs about how big that ocean is.
Right.
You know,
Gotcha. All right.
you
And
know.
I think I've read that you're quite fan focused. You kind of keep an eye on ticket prices and multi passes. Is that something that is a concern of yours? Because I know, especially down here, we've been getting a lot of canceled shows, and people have been up in arms about ticket prices because the exchange rate ain't great for New Zealand versus the U.S. So how do you keep an eye on all that stuff?
Well, I mean, we just haven't changed our ticket prices in a long time, but what happens is these people get the tickets and then they resell them for like way more than what they're originally worth, and people actually buy them.
Right.
So that's like where the problem is like our tickets aren't that much, but people don't realize that they're buying a ticket that somebody's selling and trying to like rip them off or something. So I just kind of tell my fans like, just don't buy those expensive ass tickets because they're not even. That's not what they originally cost, you know.
Yep, yep.
Um, and and I guess what happens is a lot of you know, I get a lot of messages and stuff that say that, hey, you think you're worth $1,000 a ticket, you know? And I'm like, no, sir, you know, I do not, you know, and we're not, you know, that's what somebody's selling it online, so
Yep.
it's it's like a market or something. I guess it's worth what somebody will pay, and some folks pay way too much because they don't realize that they're I don't know. And I don't know how that happens. I don't know what the hell's going on with all that, but yeah, it sucks for the fans because they go online and they can't find a ticket unless, you know, it's like the tickets are gone and the only ones that are there are $800 or something. It's like,
Yep.
well,
Yeah.
I want to go to the show, but I can't pay that much. You
Right.
know, I'm
Yeah.
like, God, I've given so many tickets away to like, I've had fans like message me, right, and be like, dude, this is insane. Like, I want to come see you, but this is so expensive. And I'm like, that's not a real ticket, first of all. But what's your name, bro? I'll put you on the guest list.
Nice
You know,
one.
I've done that a bunch. You know, it's like, you know, no, our tickets are not that much. And by the way, I'll get your ticket this time around.
Right.
It ain't
Right. Right.
anything.
That's cool. Now I want to ask you because I know your most recent album, Highway Prayers, is on Reprise Records, major label, kind of moved from Rounder, and you worked with Jon Brion, different producer. So, and that came out a few months ago, last September. What kind of reaction did you get? What kind of how did that process of being on the major label and working with a producer change the way you think about your own music and what you're going to do next?
No, not too much. I still think I just try to focus and put my blinders on and try to keep everything internal as much as I can as far as not letting these things influence the way that I work.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, no, I mean the folks at the label have been great. I mean, even that the folks at our old label are still great. We're still friends with everybody, and that's a good thing. I mean, there's this guy Gary Pachosa from Rounder Records. He's been there since 2013, 14 when I was playing, uh, you know, at IBMA in a hotel room trying to get gigs and stuff. And he's been a supporter and a fan and a friend, his dear friend ever since, you know. So some of these people you meet along the way, man, some of them stick around, you know. It's really cool. Um, but no, I realized that I have a lot of people that are looking out for me, and that feels good.
That's
You
nice. Yeah.
know, like you go out to Warner, right? And you're like, well, what is this place? What is Warner? It's a giant building where there's a bunch of people who are really good at what they do. All it is a bunch of people who are good at what they do on computers, doing what they do for all these different artists. You know, people who are good at social media, people who are good at making music videos, people who are good at getting this music onto the DSPs or the Pandoras or Spotify's and stuff like that. Like
Yep.
they have all these people that are just in these little areas, and so it's all just a bunch of good people working on art. You know, it's like it's really kind of cool. Um, and you know, our deal is kind of, you know, it's like a distribution thing. You know, I've always wanted to keep my masters, and so they were cool enough to let us do that. You know, and
Yep.
keep on keep on just doing what we're doing. And I like our cats over there that we met. I feel like they're lifelong friends too, no matter what happens. You know.
Yep, yep, yep. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And when you worked with Jon Brion, I think I read that you sampled some weird stuff, like a vintage Chevy and stuff, lighters and things like that. What that must have been it. Whose idea was that? Was that his? Was that you bringing something to his table, or him bringing something to yours?
If you don't like smoking, that's quite alright with me. If you don't like smoking, that's quite alright with me. 'Cause if you ain't smoking, then there's just more buzz for me.
Yeah, that was me bringing that stuff to the table because I just recorded some of that stuff, like the More Bud for Me song. I just made that up at home, and then recorded the sounds there just one day when I was just goofing off.
Right.
I didn't think I was making anything that would go on the record, but then, hey, why not put it on there? So yeah, I recorded those things, and then I recorded, my old car. I just brought a microphone right outside and just recorded
Right.
it in the garage. And so, yeah, those were things that I just kind of brought up and kind of was like, make this happen, John. Like the More Bud for Me song, he
Yeah.
rearranged it and he kind of did a few different things to make it kind of sweeter than it was, because it was pretty elementary iPhone recording quality,
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It turned out pretty cool though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. All righty. Well, I better let you go because we're running out of time here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finally seeing you when you get down here. And it sounds like anything could happen when we get here, which I kind of like. I hate it when you can look at set lists and see that the act is playing the same set for thousands of years in advance, playing the hits and nothing else, and no surprises.
Right. Yeah, like I said, it'll be a surprise to me that day.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.